I'm here with Susan, who recently took EFT with Ho'oponopono, level 1 and 2. Hi, Susan.
Hi,
How are you?
Julie. Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. So you recently took level 1 and 2. Susan, what was your biggest takeaway from that weekend?
My takeaway from this weekend is I've been holding on to a lot of baggage for a great part of my life.
Right?
And by taking this level 1 and 2, I found a way to get rid of a lot of the baggage that I've carried with me. And what I worked on, I can now honestly say that it's gone.
What did you enjoy the most?
What I enjoyed the most was borrowing benefits. And what borrowing benefits is when you're sitting down with a group of people and you're tapping and you're sitting beside a person and they're actually tapping on the issues that's similar to yourself.
Right.
And so in that way, you're borrowing benefits from other people and tapping on it and getting rid of your issues. And you don't realize when you're in that group setting that most of the people have the same issues as what you have.
Yes. And then by tapping and using their language, you were connected to or thinking of your own similar issue. And then were you able to release some of that?
Most definitely, most definitely.
Before you started tapping on this, how many times did you stop breathing?
I would go anywhere from, say, 12 to 20 times a night for stop breathing. But when I started doing the EFT tapping and the Ho'oponopono, I dropped down to 0.5 and say we had 6 hours, about 3 times a night I would stop breathing and find a big difference when I wake up.
Do you think the course would benefit anyone? And if so, why?
I believe that this course would benefit anybody that has any kind of physical or psychological issue. And I find a healthier way to deal with issues instead of medically where you're taking pills that when you can fix something yourself. And I find anyone would benefit for that. If I'm going to fall asleep, I want to fall asleep with this on my face.
Right.
And so I might have it on for an hour or two before I go to sleep, which I don't mind because I'd rather have it on my face than wake up in the middle of the night just flying out of bed and walking into walls and doors and everything because I can't breathe. And I've stopped breathing for a certain amount of time that I'm just gasping for air and panicked, right?
Yeah.
And so now when I do the Ho'oponopono and I did that, and I also found the Ho'oponopono. One night I was doing it in the daytime, and I did it several times. Well, that night I went to bed, and I slept for probably about 5 hours, and it was down to 0.2. So 0.2 multiplied by 5 hours. That's one time that night I stopped breathing, right? And that's due to tapping in Ho'oponopono. Now, and I can also say I've done an experiment. I have not done the Ho'oponopono or the EFT tapping, and my times for stop breathing increases.
Really?
But when I do it, it decreases, right?
Do you feel comfortable with the knowledge that you gained from this weekend?
This weekend, I gained a new tool for my toolbox.
Yes.
How to work on myself and become more grounded. I can use the knowledge of how to move quickly through any situations that have arisen in my life. I look at situations a lot differently than I used to. And this is all due to the course I had taken of the EFT tapping and the Ho'oponopono.
Was level 1 and 2 everything that you were hoping for?
I have hung on to a lot of my problems for years and years and years and years. And one weekend, working with EFT and the Ho'oponopono, what issues I worked on are gone. And I look at things differently, and I'm relaxed, and I feel more relaxed, and I'm a much happier person.
Is there anything that you would like to add? Any comments, any suggestions on how we could do things better?
No, I really enjoyed this course that we did this past weekend.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and your answers. You truly are lovely. And I really did enjoy this interview. So thank you.
You're welcome.